Arnetta Louise Shade on August 20th, 1992 at St. Joseph Hospital in Fort Wayne, Indiana at 12:55 p.m. At 6 pounds, 15 ounces, and 21 inches long, my mother looked into my face and said to the doctor, "I already had this baby, give me a new one." In no way did my mother not want me, but she thought I was exactly like my older sister. Although we looked very much alike, my parents would soon figure out we were quite different in personality and general development. After all, I was named after both of my grandmothers, my maternal grandma, Arnetta, and my paternal grandmother, Louise, who left me with some big shoes to fill. At an early age, I began a distinctive pattern of defying their expectations. I exhibited the traits of high independence, or what my father says, stubbornness. As described by Piaget, I was very much in the sensory motor stage, always finding objects to stick in my mouth in order to decide what it was. My independence carried into my eating habits, by refusing to be fed by others and wanting to feed myself. I had a compassionate childhood and was able to develop through Erickson's first stage of mistrust versus trust easily by spending time with my grandparents. As my mom and dad went back to traveling not long after I was born, I naturally learned to trust my grandparents and my cousins, who watched over me while my parents were away. I also revealed in my early years the stages of anatomy versus doubt, with a sense of great self-control. After seeing my older sister punished for wetting herself at 18 months old, I went to the toilet and potty trained myself. By initiating my own activity, I was well on my way past the stage of initiative versus guilt. My parents definitely knew at that point that I was nothing like my older sister, but had stronger ambitions. I naturally was a very inquisitive person and started making my own deductions and discoveries. I watched and observed my older sister and cousin as they started attending school and returning with homework. Only at the age of 4, I had to decide that homework was what all kids were supposed to do. So when my sister finished a reading assignment, I would shadow after her and read her homework. Once I entered elementary school, I would come home and lay my graded homework assignments around on the floor, and I would direct my class on how to do the assignment. Doing this daily made me happy. I then wrote a letter to my teacher saying I wanted to be a TECHER just like her. My parents thought I had a sense of humor, deciding so young what I wanted to do. But I know I had entered this stage in life and had confirmed my identity, and thus the role in society I wanted to play. My elementary school was a Spanish immersion school, and I learned Spanish half day, but my teacher spoke only Spanish during my lessons. In my Spanish class, I enjoyed the new cultures and learning a new language. Here I began showing and developing how garners multiple intelligences. I became good at people smart and word smart in both English and Spanish. I discovered the talent to play the harmonica, guitar, and flute, becoming very music smart. I also developed a passion for singing and became very invested in my vocal performance. I took up dancing and swimming, becoming body smart, which became more defined in my high school years, with my active role in color guard, as well as show choir. I gained self-smarts through church and faith during my adolescent years, while I also became more aware of understanding my purpose in life, to impact and change lives through teaching. I am a very right-brain thinker, and I'm always imagining creations, designs, and characters in my writing. Coming from a very loving environment, a tomboy at times, I was an obvious daddy's girl. I was also a diva to no end and would run classrooms, church nurseries by the age of 12. I required a lot of respect, which mostly was modeled after my father's natural aura of respect he commanded. Although reading and writing dominated my leisure time, I became logic smart and nature smart during my growing years by participating in puzzle games and chess. I became so good at chess, I gained second place in a city tournament against a 20-year-old when I was only 13. I fell in love with the outdoors and marine life. I skilled myself to be able to identify at least 10 different types of snakes and at least 30 different types of sharks, as well as my mother considers something special because I can tell the difference between an alligator and a crocodile. Secret is, it's all in the snout. In my childhood and early adulthood, even though I still claim to be a child until I am 26 and off my father's insurance, I'm in the unfavorable outcome of Erickson's stage of intimacy versus isolation. I've grown accustomed to having friends and family around me, and I'm perfectly happy with myself and my friendships as companions. Not that I have an inability to form affectionate relationships, but the desire to do so is not high. I have a stronger desire to set my career straight and form a life for myself. Growing up in a Christian household with my parents evidently taught me the difference from right and wrong, and to choose my friendships carefully. Preparing for college and arriving at Butler proved to test my natural intuition and morals. My silly side was naturally brought to light as the identity I had established as a teenager was challenged. I learned to remember my roots and my family. As Vygotsky put it, certain people entering my life at school could affect my academic career, so I had to learn to trust my new professors in my zone of proximal development in order to be successful in my classes. My morals are equally challenged as a Butler resident assistant, refining my beliefs. I can recognize that I have achieved level 2 of Kobol's ladder of moral development and seek to obey laws and contracts, as well as dabble in last tier and create laws. Although I use these laws to keep my unit orderly, I follow these laws on my own terms out in the real world. The laws for my residents work as guidelines, so that they too don't forget their roots but can choose to follow to ensure peace and proper restraint amongst each other. All my life, I've had the basics of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. My developmental history was grand because of the strength my family provided me. I have always been confident in myself and thought others simply had to deal with who I am. Arnetta Louise to me, Shade.